Hey, what's going on? Welcome along to episode 50 of the Strategy.
Yo, 50. Wow.
Podcast. I mean, wow. Mark, who knew we would get to this, right?
I know. Brilliant. Brilliant.
It's just one of those, like I said, from just a little get together, and we
Yeah.
decided, look, let's hit record and do a few chats.
We did it. Yeah, yeah.
Share our thoughts with people, let them know what we think and how we can help them. And coming back to that big word, I think that's run through the last few podcasts is inspire people. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, right? Just inspire.
Yeah.
People. So, yeah, look, if you've never listened before, this is episode 50. I'm Jamie Michael Joseph. That right there is Mark Tanner. Together, we talk about things around business, around mindset, around finances, around sales, all that kind of stuff, all the kind of things that, you need to know to just help yourself move forward, that whole kind of personal development, business development, self-development, whatever it is. And yeah, if you never listened to a podcast before, there's another 49 you can go and check out right now.
Yep, absolutely.
Each of them last about an hour as well. So, I mean, God, do the maths. It's like 2 days you could spend with us, right?
Yeah, brilliant.
It's great, man. We've had some good episodes. We've had listeners all over the world. I think 30 odd countries now. All kinds of different feedback and stuff like that as well. And just it's really interesting. You could be talking to someone and they quote something that you said on the podcast from like months ago. And you're just like, wow, people actually listen.
Yeah,
it's a weird one. I think we do it for our listeners as much as we do it for ourselves. Yeah,
I think it's good. No, I think the reason it's interesting, isn't it? Because there is that kind of two sides to it. We do it we have a chat. Well, quite often during the week, we start talking. We do the podcast as well, but we just start chatting about things. So it is for ourselves to start with, because we start getting new ideas, and when we start talking to each other, and then you realize that, hang on, that's a great idea, and other people might be interested in that as well for themselves. So it becomes the fact that instead of saying, oh, we'll keep that idea to ourselves and this is what we're going to do, it's just ideas that spark our own thinking. And you know that if it's sparking our own thing, it's going to help other people as well. So inspirational in some kind of way, even if it's just a small little change of thought process, it still inspires you to think differently about something. And that's what we're trying to do. And it helps us all the time as well.
I think that there's something that you've mentioned, or we've mentioned throughout the podcast and stuff like that. And it goes back to the whole kind of Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and it's the mastermind. And it's, you have a thought about something, I then have a thought about it. And it creates like this third mind that is just a powerful kind of mastermind that takes it to all different kinds of levels. And that's what we're trying to do, I guess, with this podcast, like you said, is that inspiring people. We spoke for about an hour, maybe a bit longer before we actually hit record again. We
again.
And I mean, we were talking about different areas of making money online. We'll get into some of the reasons why in a minute and stuff like that. But the Internet Marketers Toolbox and stuff like that, if you haven't heard of that yet, you will do very soon. But we're talking about just different ways in which people can make money online. And we were talking about different ideas, just for us to do as well, just little projects and stuff like that. And we had a list all of a sudden. There's a list. We will never do them. We will never do them. We might pick one or two and do that. We'll never do them. So look, us sharing that, can help you go and do it. Because I think I ended the last podcast by saying, look, everyone's out there trying to save money. No one's talking about making money, right? Different ways to make money. That you have the online world. It's there for you to take advantage of. Start making some money. Saying that as well. Next episode, let's do it around different ways to make money.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I think that's needed, especially in this at this time when people are really. I mean, people having to pull in their belt for various reasons, and there's an awful lot of gloom and doom around to say, the only attitude is you've got to save and cut down. But we're saying, well, hang on, no, you can also expand and expand. So I think that'd be a great one for the next episode.
It's massive, isn't it? That whole kind of thing, restricting it back and everything. I was going to say that I was going to look at doing an episode. I was thinking next week, maybe we do it after, or maybe we'll just do a short part in next week. But we're in the middle of November now, and all the supermarkets have started releasing their Christmas adverts, right? So there's always like this war that goes on. Who's had the best advert and stuff? I thought it'd be pretty cool to talk about that from a marketing point of view, and just from like a kind of a feel good kind of point of view. But man, I seen something pop up on one of the kind of news programs this morning, and they were talking about banning Christmas adverts because
Oh, really?
because of that whole kind of thing of, tightening your belt. People, maybe don't have the funds and stuff like that, and you then have the other people saying, "Come on, it's the only joy we get."
Yeah.
And it is like it's awful to think that we're kind of living in those times, and stuff like that. But look, the only way out of it is to do something, is to take a grip of what's going on, and just take advantage of the opportunities that are out there. That whole kind of thing of, look, making money online or making money in different ways. Like, it isn't easy, but it is simple. If you put in the work, you're going to get some out of it. The next episode is going to be fire, right? We're going to tell you some different ways to really make
yeah.
ones that aren't going to cost you any money as well. None of this kind of buy a £1,000 course or something like that.
No.
We'll just tell you different ways in which you can start making money, this month.
Yeah.
So that if that isn't a great incentive just to keep listening. Then,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is the next. It's interesting because I remember a Jim Rohn quote from a while back said the opportunities will rarely trip you up. You have to go and look for them, and that's the thing now. But they never dry up, and that's the whole thing about even in this current time, gloom, doom. If you sat down and absorbed for an hour all the stuff that's out there, the news and everything, you'd be looking for how you can top yourself probably.
I was just about to say, it's depressing, isn't it?
Like, it's horrific.
It comes back to that thing of like the headlines, right? The headlines sell, and no one buys good news.
No, exactly, and that's the big issue. And I know it is on its own a cause of massive mental health problems without the stuff that goes on anyway. Just reading that gloom and doom, and so yeah, that episode would be great. Just showing people that there are opportunities out there. How do you take advantage of them? How do you build up for your later life, if you like, when your pension plans are being sold off and everyone's robbing the coffers? Well, let's build our own coffers. I think that's probably the theme for next week. Build your own coffers. How to make money online.
That's it. I mean, who doesn't want that kind of war chest that they can crack open when they need to? If times are tough and everything, they've got that there. They've got that saved away. That there's funds for a rainy day, as my dear old mum used to say.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. It's like, you build up those reserves so that something does happen, or just to give you options. I mean, that's the big thing, isn't it? Just to give you options. If you do want to go and do something. I'll be honest. Like my dad, talking with him last week, he just said, "You know what? I'm going to go away for Christmas. I'm going to go to like the Canary Islands or something like that." It's like, he had a heart attack back last year and stuff, and it's like, mate, he might not have made it through that. So it's like, why?
Just go.
Just take advantage of the help that you have and use it. Just take advantage of it. And it's like just if that money's there, then use it. You can always make more money, right? You can't get more time.
Exactly right. Yeah, this is again, we're getting into huge little mindset issues here, aren't we? Yeah, you cannot make any more time, but you can make money. Yeah.
No, man, we're going to get into the episode in just a minute, because I know we're going to talk around the whole kind of journaling thing. I know that's your thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about journaling, but don't really understand it or don't know where to start. I've been one of those for so long that I've tried it. It's not really worked for me, but I still want to do it. I still want to do more. And chatting with you, I've obviously got some different tips and tactics to do that. Before we get into it, I'm just going to go off on a bit of a rant. I stopped off at services the other day. Right, so they stopped off, a little bit of a break, bit hungry as well. So just looking around what to have, stay away from the fast food. I thought, I'll get some sort of sandwich or something like that, right? I'm looking and I'm like, okay, maybe a salad. I'm just like, people that know me are just like, you went for the pizza in the end. Right? But man, I kid you not, looked at this salad, right? And it was all branded up vegan at the top.
No.
And it said no chicken salad, right? I've looked at it and there's not even a chicken substitute. It's just salad. It's just a salad. Instead of it saying salad, it said vegan, no chicken salad. And it's like, I'm all for marketing. I'm all for, trying to get in front of the right people. But come on, it's a salad, call it a salad.
Yeah, exactly. That's interesting. That is it. Tell you what's not in there and say none of this. But there you
You
go.
could have went for all of it, you know. It could have been no meat salad, no. Like it was just crazy. It was just like fair enough if you put some sort of tofu in there or some sort of meat alternative, that kind of thing. Some fake chicken. Fair enough. No chicken, fake chicken salad. But it was just a salad.
But there's nothing. It's just salad.
Oh, it's just like, wow, these people. It's like someone sat down and come up with that campaign and thought to themselves, yeah, do you know what? If we put vegan on it and we tell people there's no chicken in there, it will appeal to them.
Yeah, because it's a big thing, isn't it? Veganism is a big new thing coming on, isn't it? So yeah,
it is a big thing, mate. But yeah, just calling vegetables vegan is
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? That's my little rant for this week, anyway.
Yeah. I don't know if I've got one particularly that's come up really. I think that's a good theme, isn't it? Every day we come up, every time we do it, we have to come up with a little rant or a little observation. I don't think anything has cropped up except the fact that we're now heavily in the UK anyway. We're heavily into autumn or fall for our US friends. Very wet, windy.
Do you know what, mate? Saying that about our US friends as well. Now, for a long time with our podcast, we first of all, the UK audience was massive. That was our bulk audience. The States just like came through. I don't really know what happened, but how we caught fire in the States and stuff like that. But we got to a point where we've got now, it's like 40% of our audience is UK based and 38% is in the States. Right. And that's how it is when I looked this morning. Over the past few weeks, those two have chopped around. So like we get into a bit of a fight, so our US listeners, let's take ahead of the UK and our UK base at home. let's keep up the flag and do that. But yeah, it's interesting, how it just kept.
So are we Democrat or Republican?
Well, but let's not get into
we won't go there.
We won't get into that. Yeah, it's just I mean, I couldn't even tell you what we are. Well, I don't know about yourself. I couldn't even tell you what I am back home. Like
no.
None of the jokers. But yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, crazy stuff. But yeah, let's get into it then. Because I know our listeners are like, look, you guys are just going off on one now.
Yeah, exactly. Let's give out some content.
Let's get into to journaling, right? So journaling, I guess it is one of those areas for myself. I used to see journaling as thinking of it like the kind of diary that the kids had at school. That kind of thing. Dear diary, this happened today, that happened today. And then, as kind of time's gone on and I've kind of learned from different people and heard different stories, it's just this valuable asset that you can have. And just, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a task, just like a process that you do to actually just clear up,
it's a dump, isn't it? It's more than just a brain dump, but it is a process that I think my feelings. I think journaling is a brilliant way to extract from our own minds what's going on, how we're feeling, but also new ideas, because we come up with ideas all the time. Most people will have a flash of an idea and forget it straight away, because they're just whatever situation they're in, they're not thinking about opportunities necessarily. They're not thinking about any particular new project. They're just in the middle of something, and they might read something. You might be sparked by a TV advert or something you read in the paper or anything you read. There's something that was a good idea, and you move on. And part of the whole process of journaling is to have a part of your journal that, oh, hang on, let me make a note of that before I move on. And it could be a one word, whatever, it's something you saw. And then you can move on, that's fine. But your mind's already, because you've written it, that's the other thing about writing in the journal. And this, I do advocate writing as well, is that I don't know what it is about writing, but when you start to write something, it kind of reinforces it into your mind as well. So if you write sort of, if you have a problem with one of the other things about diarizing, I suppose, if you have a doctor's appointment and you have problems with your memory, and you go to a page and you write doctor's appointment, and you'll find that in 3 days' time you'll remember you've got a doctor's appointment, whereas before you hadn't. For some reason, I have no idea. In most cases, because you've written it down, you've actually taken time to just think about it for, I don't know what, 2 seconds. maybe I've written it down, and the brain clocks it. So writing down stuff is so good because our memory is so unreliable. And I think there was a study, I'm not sure if it's still applicable now, that you can remember around 5, give or take, 2 things up or down. 5 things normally on your mind. If you've got stuff you remember, you've got 5 things. I'll think about that. And if you then try and remember something else, something drops. And I think that was a psychology study a while back. But if you start to think about a new thing, one of those things that could have been pretty important drops off, and you have no control as to which one it is. And then if you remember another thing, something else drops off, and all of a sudden you don't even, you aren't even aware it's dropped off. And so when writing is down, when you've written it down, it doesn't, well, it still drops off, but it doesn't matter because you've written down just a little paragraph or something about that particular thing. But anyway, I'm going off on a bit of thinking.
I totally get that. I'm just thinking then when you're saying it is, there's a thing with studying. If you're studying for like a test and stuff like that, then you can say that if you read something, you have so much chance of remembering something.
Yeah.
Like if you talk out loud, if you say it out loud, then that increases. And then if you write it down as well, you have the biggest chance of remembering something. So that makes perfect sense. And like you said, that whole kind of, it's more than a brain dump, but that brain dump, if you've got lots of things going on in your head and you kind of put them all down on paper, it clears your head, right? You can actually then put back in something that doesn't need before.
Absolutely. And it's like almost like having a glass or a jug of water that just fills up with ideas. And eventually you're pouring water on the top and it's overflowing. So the ideas have just been wasted. But if you empty that jug of water into something and the jug's empty, you've still got the water there, but now your jug's empty and you can start filling it with more ideas. And you find then another container. And a journal is really, that's it, isn't it? It's a container. That's how I see it. And like I said, I've been journaling for years. And it really helped me turn my life around, which sounds a bit of a claim, a bit of a wacky claim to make. But it did, because I never used to write diaries. I never used to write stuff at all. And here I am now. Journaling has gone to a real extreme. Kind of being a copywriter. I mean, I was always a writer, but I wrote sort of books and things, and I never took them seriously. So I never really captured them for that kind of time. But I just was always writing something. And then the journaling is writing. Again, it's like writing with a purpose. That's another sort of phrase that comes to mind, is writing with a purpose, to remember what is good about your life and remember and be able to reflect on it. And like I said, it changed my life around back in just 2006. So as people know, I went through a real severe financial problem and it ended up with bankruptcy. And I just picked up a book at the time, and it talked about lots of different things, personal development. But one of them was journaling. I'd never even thought about it before. I could never be bothered to keep a diary. I just never. I maybe 2 or 3 days entries. I think, what's the point of that? Just throw it away. But the whole idea of journaling, then it went through kind of steps of journaling and what you're trying to do, and it made an awful lot of sense. So I started writing in this, and then I found another model to use for journaling, and so went on. I found lots of different models. I bought that. Well, I spent, I would say, probably thousands of pounds in journals over the years, of different ideas and different layouts of journals from other people. And I've to kind of develop my own. So I now to have my own. I just buy a two day a page diary at the moment, every year, big thing. And I have my own method. I'll have to create this properly. I rule it out to the way I want to do it, and I have my own method of journaling. And it's the stuff that's worked for me, and I haven't changed it, interestingly enough, for about 4 years. So it works that well that I don't keep thinking every year, oh, there's something not quite right, and changing things. And that's what's kind of led to this. There's a big evolution of how I journal, but now it really works for me, and it really does, I think, add to success that I have.
And that's a big thing, actually. That whole kind of personal development world, the different kind of business mentors, gurus, all that kind of stuff. the amount of times I've heard that come up about, that journaling gave them a revelation, journaling, as equal to their success and stuff like that. It's something that it's not a buzzword because it's been around for so long, but you hear about it all the time.
Yeah.
So, it means that there's something in there. And I know before we spoke about, you get The Secret, the book and the movie and stuff like that. And they say about thoughts become things. And like you said, the big part that's missing in there is, but you must take action,
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's the same thing with journaling. Is I think journaling sometimes is that it is made out to either be a brain dump, or it becomes a notebook, or it becomes a to-do list.
And it can, yeah. And I think this is what in the model I've used, there is an element of it being a to-do list, which I have at the end. And there's an element of preparing for the next day ahead, and an element of answering certain questions. But it's an element as well at the beginning of the day, is how you want to set yourself up for the day. So often, you get, especially if you haven't slept well, you can feel pretty grim the day you feel a bit tired. Oh God, and then something might happen. You don't know, you bang your toe on something, and the whole day goes and you're in that a negative mood, if you like, for whatever reason, and your day doesn't go well, and it's become a kind of a known fact, isn't it? If you're going around in a negative mood, negative things are going to happen. It's all this stuff that you're going to attract negative thoughts and all the rest of it. So part of the reason for journaling, and I do it first thing now. So I journal in the morning, first thing in the morning, and at the end of the day, because it's like part of my night routine. But the first thing I do in the morning is, if I wake up and I start writing about being and feeling good, then I will be and feel good. And the negative stuff goes. If I'm a bit knackered and a bit tired, you think, yeah, that's how I feel at the moment, but let's think about this. And then you start writing about the things that you're going to do that day. I have a section down at the end, which I go into in a minute, where I just think, there's the 3 things I'm going to do today. And all of a sudden you feel, suddenly by writing down, you feel more positive about it. Right. It may only be 3 things. It doesn't matter. Some people do. One coach I used to have did try and had 6 during the day. He used to get up at Dickens' house at 5 in the morning and probably go to bed at 9 at night. I think, well, okay, I'm not doing that. But he would get these big 6 rocks. Again, coming back to the rocks, he would get these things done. I normally have 2, maybe 3. And the rest of the day, all sorts of rubbish can come in. But those are the things that I concentrate on. And that's so it is a kind of a to-do list. It has lots of different things in there. And it's a list of, it's also comes back to your goals and your desires for what you really, really want to be doing, your passion. So it just reflects on all those things, so that each day you're moving forward along a path to get somewhere, as opposed to just waking up to another day the following day.
That's a massive thing, isn't it? Like being able to move forward. Like you said, you set out your day for success. You're just like, okay, this is what I want to achieve today. This is why I'm looking to achieve it and everything.
Yeah.
You said that as well. I mean, you hear a lot about gratitude, gratitude journals and stuff like that. Is that something that you include then in the morning? You look at things that you're bringing?
Yeah, I do have a big gratitude part, and a kind of so I can go to I can go through the whole model. So this is how it is. Now the first word might put people off. It is not meant to. So the first part of it is called God, and I'm fairly spiritual. So yeah, for me, I have a belief in God, but we're talking about it could be universal mind, it could be all this kind of stuff, that our higher selves, whatever it is. And the God stands for gratitude first. Find 6 things that you give gratitude for. So that's the G. The O is the observation of how you feel now. So you've just woken up. How do I feel? I feel like, I don't know, I got a cold, I got flu, I feel crap, or I don't feel this way, or I feel really motivated. But just first of all, observe, and there's nothing wrong with it if you feel bad, but observe, making that observation of how you feel. So yeah, I don't feel brilliant today. I've woken up, didn't have a good night's sleep, whatever. So at the moment, I'm not feeling brilliant. So that's fine. You're admitting to yourself. It's fine to admit. And then the D is what's your desire for the day? And that fits in with maybe your overall goals and your passions. But just for today, what's your desire for the day? And I want to make sure I want to write a chapter of a book, or I want to do a podcast, or today I will make sure that I care for my my elderly mother-in-law and aunt as well. So a desire for one day could be I'll make sure I go down there and make sure they're not lonely, and that's my desire for the day. So that's the God part. Okay, pretty simple.
No,
Doesn't take long.
I'm just that. I mean, like gratification. Yeah, I think it's such a big area that most people miss.
Yeah.
Just in their lives all the time. We always kind of look at, and maybe it goes against a bit how we kind of started the podcast off. We were saying about, look, make more money and stuff like that. But everything comes back to having more money, right? If you make more money, you have more options. You have more choices. Then you can do things that you want to do with the people you care about, and look how to give them everything that you want to give them, right? But just gratitude, just things like I can remember this story actually. There's a guy in the States, Bradley. Right, and he's talking to a guy, and he's just like, "How much do you want to be a millionaire?" Right, and the guy's like, "Yeah, more than anything." He's like, "I'll give you $1 million right now." He said, "I just want your eyes," and the guy's like, "Nah." And he's just like, "So you value your sight more than you value $1 million. So why aren't you grateful that you have your sight?"
Yeah.
And it's like stuff like that. We just overlook so much, don't we? I said about my dad, having a heart attack the other year, yourself having a heart attack, and that it's like you don't look to yourself and go, yeah, do you know what, another day I woke up kind of thing. It's
that's right.
That's so good.
Yeah, and there's days. I mean, I've got some fantastic trees. I've got not that big a garden, but there's some great big majestic trees outside the garden, and sometimes it is just gratitude. Is thank you for the eyes to be able to see the trees in the morning with the sun coming, shining on them, and that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter it could be big, it could be small, but it doesn't matter. It's just the whole idea. Once you start giving gratitude about things, your mindset automatically changes. Instead of thinking, oh, I feel really crap today, you think, no, actually, I'm grateful that here's another day and that I'm healthy and I'm fit and able, whatever,
And that observation part then, doesn't it? Because even though you could be having a rubbish morning, you could have had a bad night, whatever's going on, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So and the observation is just acknowledging how you feel at the moment. So a lot of people say, you've got to live in the moment. And I'm just saying, okay, how do you feel that? The observation is, it could be about things around you, but more it's about how it's an observation of my feelings for me. How do I feel at that particular moment? Because from that, if you think, I feel rough here, I've got a pain there, or something's a bit weird, then you know that's something you need to think about, right? What do I have to take something, or is it just in my head or whatever, But it's just something you acknowledge, and then like I said, the desire is, how do I want to do? What do I want to do today? That's just will make me think I've had a good day. I've had a really good day.
I mean, that observation, like you said, I mean, even if it is a case of your dad just going, yeah, I feel rubbish today. When you actually look at the desire then about what it is you want to achieve, all of a sudden that motivation comes, right? Because you're just like, right, it doesn't matter how bad I feel, I want to go do it. It's the same thing with like working out, going for a run, whatever it is, you put it off, I don't feel like it, and when you do it, you just like feel so good.
Yeah. And that could be the simple thing. Observation is I feel a bit thick around the middle, I just don't feel very fit. The desire is, well, okay, I'm going to go out and run 5, 10K, whatever. And that's your desire for the day. You know that there's lots of other things you want in the day, but I want that more than anything. I want to do that because I know it's going to help me feel a lot better. So that's quite a short part. And then this is a bit biblical, I guess, but it's not just biblical. It's about being brave for the day ahead. So you face the day with courage, and we've talked about courage and confidence. And so the mnemonic I use there is brave, and it stands for, okay. So the B is BE as a B. How do I want to be today? How do I want to show up? So, and that's kind of listing maybe some of the values you've got, the principles. I want to be Yeah. So, for example, today I'm gonna. Yeah, I am. I'm confident. I'm courageous. I'm generous. I'm capable of doing this. So, you just basically, this is the way I want to be in myself. I want to feel that I'm courageous, confident, and you just list down all several things that you want to be, that you want your character to be on that particular day. Um, and then when you listed that, the R is okay. And this is a bit sounds a bit like the desire, but it's not really. It's the result. So at the end of the day, what result or results do I want to have? I want to have I want to have completed a podcast. I want to have written to somebody, or I want to have phoned somebody, or I want to have, I want to have say phoned 3 new contacts. Anything, because we're talking about journaling for success. So this is about, it could be your personal relationships, it could be anything. Success means your whole life, not just about business, but personal stuff. But the result is, can I, at the end of the day, I want to be able to see that this is what I intended to do. Have I met that? And that's part of the end of the day routine. And then the A just stands for affirmation. So it's something that helps you get through the day. So it could be, you might have lots of different affirmations that you need by something that's really inspirational, and a quote that you have that makes that's my affirmation for the day. And you can have several, but I only would put in one. And then the V is for voice. Now it's slightly different from how you want to be, because how you want to be is how you want to be in yourself. And then the voice is how do you want to come across to people. So again, I want to come across strong. I want to come across that I'm resilient, and that I'm dependable for people, and I'm capable of doing this, and I'm motivated, I'm enthusiastic. So that's what kind of voice. So when I talk to people, all those things come across. I feel strong, and I feel confident, and I feel that you can depend on me, as opposed to being, sometimes a bit quiet or a bit wimpy. You can come across that way. So the voice is, so I do voice because that resonates with me, because often when I'm writing for other people, writing copy, it's what voice and tone do you want me to write this copy in? So voice is important to me because it's the way that we are going to be portraying ourselves. It's not just about speaking, it's about everything, body language, everything, but how you're going to be. And then the last part of the morning journal is E for enact. So those are the 3 things. Enact. So for example, podcast, that's a big rock. I want to get the podcast done today. Another rock is I may be doing some training. I want to make sure I do that learning today. That's another rock. And another rock could be I want to make sure that I do want to make sure I do something fitness related. For example, we talk about going out for a walk, but I want to do some resistance training today or something. I want to have that maybe an hour, whatever it's going to be, but that's something I'm going to do. So I've got 3 rocks to do, and those are my rocks. And then the rest of the stuff can filter in. And that's the morning journal. Takes me about 30 minutes, I guess. Okay. But it's 30 minutes that you wouldn't spend thinking about yourself and how you're going to be if you just got straight up.
Yeah. It's that thing, isn't it? I mean, for myself, I love the whole kind of strategy side, the planning stuff and everything like that. And I think it's an area where you hear lots of people talk about getting up early, the 5 a.m. club and everything. I said, there's no point in getting up if you haven't got a set routine or what you're going to do. Yeah. And it's like getting something like this into your routine. And, I know you do something on the evening. Maybe we'll cover that again. Maybe we'll do it in this episode, whatever. But it just that, in the morning, you set yourself up for the day.
Yeah.
You are in control of your day. It's not that.
And that's the point. Yeah. So you set yourself up onto your own agenda and you're in control, because it's so easy. I know many people. First thing they do, Facebook, scroll through. Oh, and emails. Oh, I've got that. Oh, I've got to get. And straight away, their day is being dictated by someone else. And then now reaction. They're just, I've got to get this done. So they might have 10, 20 tasks. Yeah, I've got to respond to this email. I've got to do this, got to do that. And that becomes a task list. And it doesn't get you anywhere. Yeah. You're not driving yourself forward anyway. You're just ticking off things that other people want you to do. And to me, that's why to-do lists. Don't get me wrong, I'm not anti to-do lists, but to-do lists have to be structured in a way that they drive you forward. And this is good. So this enacts kind of thing is a mini. Well, no, it's the big to-do list of the rocks. And then if you create your to-do list later on, those things are top. And then there's the other little things of, well, yeah, I've got to do a bit of admin, I've got to do a bit of bookkeeping, or maybe I need to speak to maybe I need to speak to someone who's doing some work for me about this. But they're minor things as opposed to the big things that get done. And that's, as I say, doing that enact part at the end of the journal, you're setting yourself up for, right, this is my agenda. These are the things that I'm going to be doing. And if it means I have to miss other people's agenda, tough. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's not going to drive me forward. This is going to drive me forward.
I was making some notes, like when we're talking and stuff like that then, and you're talking about the whole kind of brave thing, is like I kind of jotted down a word or a couple of words to each one. And like just on that first part, and you mentioned about showing up. It's like, look, showing up is half of the battle, right? You know, it is like so many people will put things off, you know, not really go through with something for whatever kind of reason. But just showing up is half the battle, and then showing up how you want to show up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you know, you're in control.
Yeah.
You're taking advantage, and that's just because you've decided how you want to show up. And then that comes in then to the next part where you said about results. I put wins, and it is racking up the wins. Those wins could be so small. You know, it could be that you like you said, it could be that you've gone for a little walk. It could be that like you've done some push-ups. It could be that you write a page first thing in the morning, whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing. It's like, okay, what those wins, like what wins do I want, you know, to have achieved and stuff like that. And then I think you talk about affirmations, and I think this is such like a massive topic as well, especially when it comes into journaling, you know, and that kind of stuff. And again, I think I've even said on this podcast and different training that we've done together where I've said I've always kind of seen that affirmation side as a bit woo-woo, you know, again, stuff like that. But the way I look at it is you motivate yourself.
Yeah, it is. It is a kind of self-motivate. And I think one of the things that this really helped me with a while back, I was working as a finance manager for a charity, and we had two quite serious things going on. One was, this is a charity that basically was a charity that drove disabled elderly people around shopping. So it was it got them out of their homes, it got them shopping with, you know, and it was like a minibus charity and helping people out, and just breaking up loneliness, all this kind of stuff. And there was one of our drivers was stealing fuel. So he was filling up his own petrol can for his cars and things every day. And that was eating into the charity, which was funded by the public. So, of course, you know, it's public money. And then the other one was we had, at the same time, we had somebody in the office who was had taken on the mantle of being an office manager, and was basically way above their station, because we had an office manager, an operations manager, and was always constantly in a kind of a battle. So the result was, at one point we had to, with the guy stealing fuel, I had to have an interview with him, take down all his notes and the rest for the HR situation. So the result was, I'm going to make sure this happens today. And then the whole voice thing was, I'm going to be strong, confident, courageous, and I'm going to be, what's the word? I'm going to come across as, not that I'm not flexible, but I'm in command. All right, so I'm commanding. And then the same thing.
So what I wrote down on that there, right, was back yourself.
Yeah, that's right. So it's so you're finding that's what I want to be. So the affirmation is, I'm strong. I'm strong and I'm in command. So the interview, I had to lead the interview. I wasn't going to let him run rings around me. So I am strong and in command. I have inner strength. And so the affirmation is just backing that up. And then the other thing with the lady, who was really quite difficult to deal with. Again, the affirmation was, I'm in command. And the voice was, I'm strong and I'm organized and I will get this done. And so it's all about being, it was strong, courageous. I think it was organized, and it was disciplined, that I won't be led off on a tangent. So I got self-discipline and self-control, that I won't lose my rag when I'm talking to her, because she was quite good at winding you up or winding me up. So it's all those kind of things. And so each one of those in those headings may change every day. Some days you're going to be putting the same things down. But again, that isn't a problem either. So the B for B, often I put virtually the same things down every day for quite a long time, because that's how I want to be in myself. Okay. And normally that isn't going to change too much. But the whole point is you're reinforcing, every time you write it down, you're reinforcing it. You're reinforcing. So if you want to say that the B could be, for example, you could be the B could be, part of your B that day is I'm really enthusiastic. And then you find yourself at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you think, oh, I really feel. And you think, no, hang on. Well, where's my enthusiasm gone? And straight away, because you've written it down, you keep it in mind. You think, what's changed? And it may be you just need to go out for a walk for 5 minutes or whatever. Or just change subject. So instead of working, just think, I'll just go down and make myself a cup of tea, walk around the house, just go and look at the garden or something, whatever. But it's something that just changes it. Otherwise, what happens is you go from one thing onto another, and you'll end up doing a rubbish job on the next thing, because you've lost that kind of enthusiasm for it and stuff, So it's just keeps your mind. I just find that it keeps your mind active during the day.
Kind of look at it like with habits as well, right? Is like you form a habit to become the person that you want to be. And it's the same thing with this, isn't it? Is you're choosing who you want to be.
Yeah.
That person now. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's great for habit building, because each day you can say, right, my result is so for example, say I know people who go on an alcohol detox for say 30 days. And so result, at the end of today, I will not have drunk anything. Yeah, I will just be drinking water or tea or whatever, but I will not have drunk any alcohol. And that could be the result they want at the end of the day. It's as simple as that. But that just keeps it, right, I'm not drinking. So they might think, oh, just fancy a glass of wine. No. I know in my journal I said I am not drinking. So then that forms a habit that they may never drink again, or they do their 30 days and think, right, that's fine. I've done my 30 days. I'm going to have a glass of wine. But it's great for habit building.
And that's something that when thinking about the whole kind of rocks, so you pick your big rocks for the day. Is that one of those rocks could be that you're not going to drink for the day, right? Or I'm gonna pick the salad over the pizza.
Yeah.
That kind of thing is that it doesn't, like you said, it is. I think for myself, personally, I always get caught up in everything like this. I always think it from a business point of view.
Yeah.
Analytical, entrepreneurship kind of view, and it's always about business and that. But it's not. It's looking at things that it doesn't matter how small they are, as long as it's a win for you, as long as it's a rock for you.
Yeah. And there are days when I do that enacting, I actually look at different areas. So it could be enact, and I have a business. What do I want to do in business? I want to have done the podcast. What do I want to do for my health? I want to have gone out and walk for an hour. And what do I want to do for my just learning? I want to read a chapter of this book. And those are my rocks. So it could be all different areas of your life, not just business. But the whole point is, it's down to you, whatever you want. And this is where I found that I find this system better than a lot of journals, because a lot of journals give you kind of loaded questions that push you down a route,
So I was just about to say that actually, it is with rocks, for example, and saying that it could be really small, rocks. I think this is something, especially on a daily basis, is where you do have to get realistic. I think we're always kind of ambitious, and we're always saying stretch your goals for long term. But when it comes to a day, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
So it's like, look, you can't go and do some sit-ups today and get the six-pack, right? It's not going to happen. But by doing the sit-ups today, you're going to build up to having that six-pack, as long as everything else is in.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of thing. And I think sometimes a lot of a lot of people set their day up in a way where it's just unachievable because so much. We talk about it where, you get like a to-do list or you plan your day, and we talk about it in blocks, and you've got blocks throughout the day that you can put work into.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that they can do more than what they can actually do.
Oh, always, yeah.
And it's that kind of thing. If you give yourself, okay, the rocks kind of thing, I've got all these things. It's like, it's going to be difficult to do. It's like you say, you pick the three things that you go, okay, I want to kind of smash these by the day. I want to smash these rocks by the end of the day. The other things can, flow through and stuff like that as well. But just picking those three things is just like, yeah.
And and again, this was one thing I did. I remember a while back now, we did that 21-day challenge. Remember? Yeah. And the 21-day challenge is that we were also putting something in there for each day when we were talking to people about each day. And the result in there was for these 21 days, day 3 or whatever, I want to have gone in and done something in this 21-day challenge for the benefit of the people on the 21-day challenge. So it was because I wanted to do something for other people. But the whole point is that the result was, that's what I want to do. If I don't do anything else, that's fine. But I want to make sure that I don't ignore that 21-day challenge, so people got the best result from it. It could be this is the whole point. It could be absolutely anything. And a lot of journals I use in the past, which have questions, are trying to force you down big, some kind of big things in a lot of cases. And like you said, we try and do too many things on a day. And there's so many people who said, you always overestimate what you can do in 1 year and a day and a week. And you'll always underestimate what you can do in 5. Or you'll underestimate what you can do in 6 months. But you'll always overestimate what you can do that day. Because you're always trying to think, I want to do that, and I want to do it, and I want to get this done. And the point is, you might want to, but you probably won't. And as soon as you fall down on 1 or 2 things, then your motivation will go. So find out what works for you. And for me, I found it's three kind of rock things a day. For other people, it may be 6. It doesn't matter, because it's your journal. It's not you're not ever showing it to anybody else. And it could be that temporarily it is 3, and then after a while you think, actually, I can do 4. And then you try 4, and if it works, then you can go on. Because when we do the what I call the end of the day bit, you'll see whether you've managed to do all your rocks. And if you set yourself 6 rocks and you're failing all the time, then one of the things I've got in there is to challenge yourself. Say, am I just being silly? It's ridiculous because I'm trying to do too many things. Let's cut back and manage what I can, and find that I feel much better and much more successful because I'm accomplishing 3 things instead of failing at 6 things. Because we always use that word failure, which is a bad word in itself. But we always do that. Oh, I failed today. I didn't do that today. Failed. Oh, I failed that one as well. And that's a terrible word to use because you're just knocking yourself down all the time.
You know what, mate? I think that's such a good area to kind of pick up on, because I think sometimes with goals, we see our goals as being we either achieve them or we don't. When we look at them as being targets, we can look at it as we're moving forward towards that target. Even if we didn't hit that target, we still move forward today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I think that's something I was going to ask you about, that whole kind of I think challenge is a great word to kind of put on yourself, because you kind of look at that being, okay, look, what if you didn't hit those rocks? What if you didn't get what you set out to do? What if you didn't, you want the person that you wanted to be?
Yeah.
Like you said, do you let yourself off? Do you beat yourself up? Well, if you challenge yourself, you get to really find the reason why.
Yeah.
You didn't really move forward. And is it something that you were just being silly in what you did? And I'm not talking about that in, backing yourself or, anything like that, but I just mean in what you set out for your challenge to be. Like you said, I mean, I'm always going to be enthusiastic, but that you've got meetings throughout the day that are going to be really draining. It might be a bit of a push too far to be enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Whereas
it's right. Yeah.
You don't have those meetings, and you could be.
Yeah.
So it's like it is interesting. I think that journaling thing, like, I like this with the structure, because I think whenever I've kind of looked at doing any kind of journaling, you just sit down with a blank page and you kind of go, right, what am I supposed to write? Am I supposed to write am I supposed to write like what's gone on today? That kind of thing. But I like this, and this sets up nice with just like I guess everything I'm about, like I said, with strategy and stuff like that, is working with any client. What we look at doing is we take a year. We look at a year. Look, in a year's time, what is it we want to have achieved? And that again, look, usually comes back to an income goal, but whatever the income is for, there's reasons for what we want to achieve.
Yeah.
And once we get that year, well, then we could break it down into quarters. So now all of a sudden we've got the next quarter, right? The next 90 days, the next 3 months, however you kind of want to say it, it becomes a lot more manageable. And it's like this here. If we break it down into, each month, each week, each day, all of a sudden it's like, wow, we're in control.
Yeah, and that's the point, isn't it? And this is okay. This doesn't cover the fact you might have your goals written down, all the rest of it, because this is referring to your goals. But the whole point is that if you want to be earning a certain income, so you want to be upgrading, you want to be earning £2,000 more a month than you are now. So when we've gone through this process, well, what does that exactly mean? How many customers? What's the conversion rate? How many people do you need to know? How many people do you need to be contacting? How many people do you need to sign up? So you come up with a figure, and that result could be that at the end of the day, I want to have contacted 4 new people, because out of that, you're probably going to get one. You might get one who signs up to whatever you've got. Or you could be putting that in your enact. So I'm going to be contacting 5 people today, and that could be your rock in your enact. The whole point is it's setting your stall for the day. I know that at the end of the day, I want to have contacted 5 people, and yes, we'll talk about the end of day bit in a minute. You may have only contacted 4 at the end of the day. Does it matter? No, you've got 4 out of 5. If you haven't contacted 1, then that's when you think, I haven't done very well there. But even if you've contacted 2, it could have been that one of the phone calls went on a long, long time because the person was really interested. The point is, you've moved forward. You set yourself for 4. The following day, you might easily breeze through 4, and it might be that you can contact someone else as well. So the point is, you set yourself that thing for the day, but it's not to beat yourself up. And so that's why I have an end of day bit as well, which I can talk about if you like. We've got time.
Yeah, I think we've been going on a while, haven't we? But I think if you think we've got time, then let's run through it. I'm sure the people listening are just with this, listening. They want to know the full story, right?
I bet they do. Okay, so at the end of the day, this is the thing from Jim Rohn always said to me. He said, "You don't just learn from the day. You take from the day. You save the day." Wow. So this is where the save comes in. So at the end of the day, I have this thing, and the save, the SAVE, and then I have a thing called CAP as well, which I could talk about in a second. So save is successes, your celebrations. So anything you do, anything, no matter how big or small, and these are just bullet points, your successes. What did I do? I did my 50 push-ups today. I went out for a walk. I stayed alcohol-free. Whatever, each one, little bullet point successes. And normally, if you think about all the things you've done, that you don't just focus on what you've done, what the successes, you'll have about 6 or 7 a day. And you suddenly think, bloody hell, that's been a brilliant day. So instead of thinking about what I didn't do, and then I have 2 things which are a bit weird, but I've called, the first one is acquired. So what did I acquire today? Did I learn something new? Did I get something of value? Did somebody pay me? Did I get another customer? What is it? What have I acquired? Have I found a new mate down the pub? Whatever, what have I acquired today? And then the V is value, is what value have I given to people today? So, this podcast could be one. We're giving value because we're talking insights and stuff. And that's a value. That only needs to be a one thing. I'm not talking about loads and loads of things, but it can be. And then I have an E, which is the end. Now, the end is separated into 3 things, which are CAP, CAP. And the first one is, okay, at the end of the day, what challenged me today? And that's when you look back and say, well, I didn't hit my 6 rocks today, So I need to challenge my thinking is to think, am I being realistic setting 6 rocks a day, or should I go down to 4? Or it could be that, like I said before, I set myself up to contact 6 people. I only contacted 4. So is 6 people too many? Am I setting myself up for too many? Or was it just the day where things got in the way? Because life gets in the way. We know that. I'm not sort of saying that you've got to be absolutely rigid here. Things get in the way. So if we know I had to take my son to hospital, or I had to do this, or so that got in the way. And so it wasn't a challenge. Why did it challenge me? You understand why it challenged you. So you have that listed then. And then the stands for appraise. So it's then, okay, that's my challenge. And the appraisal is, so what do I need to do? What about my life does maybe I need to change that challenge doesn't come up again? Or it may come up again, but I know how to get around it. So the appraising of again, it could be things like appraising how you feel. How do I feel today? Do I feel like I wanted to? Or the appraise could be looking at the result you set yourself for the day. How did I feel? Did I meet it? How did I feel because of it? Or did I not quite meet it? How does that make me feel? So it's appraising what went on during the day. And the P is preparing for the following day. So, okay, P. So what am I going to do differently tomorrow? Am I going to change something? Am I going to stick to what I think I've got on my sort of the calendar for tomorrow? Do I need to make sure I get to bed a bit earlier and wake up a bit earlier, or whatever? And it's just prepare. So that's the cap at the end of the day, kind of the night cap. So all I did.
I love it, mate. But that cap, I was like, as you were going through it, I was thinking to myself, I was like, yeah, okay, look, just coming back to that kind of healthy eating kind of thing. It could be that you challenge yourself because you ended up buying some sort of rubbish, on your way home or something like that, and then you kind of look at it then and go, okay, why did I do that? And it's like, well, it's because I didn't eat anything for breakfast.
Exactly.
And then you think, well, why didn't I eat anything for breakfast? Well, I was in a rush, So okay, how do I get around that? Well, maybe I can prepare some overnight oats now.
Yeah.
I can have those in the morning because it's ready. I can just grab it. That sort of stuff, mate, it's so valuable, and that's in anything. Like you said, health, wealth, relationships, business, whatever we're looking at. You just have to, you just assess it to be able to do that. The A and the V, man, I think if we just take that, for today's episode, you just look at that for someone. I think that those two things, I think I'm really going to focus on for my journaling now. I'm going to try to do all of this. I think it's going to take me some time to get into that rhythm.
Yeah, of course it does. It's bound to. Yeah, I mean, this has come to me over time. So now it's about 30 minutes in the evening and 30 minutes in the morning.
Yeah.
And this is the whole point. Like you were saying, if you're going to get up at 5 in the morning, what are you going to do? Well, I don't get up at 5 in the morning, but I do make sure I get up a half an hour earlier.
Yeah.
Or even an hour early, so I can do the half an hour in the morning, and I got the 30 minutes to do at the end of the day as well. So it bookends your day. That's the whole point, isn't it? You start off your day well and you end your day well. So when you go to sleep, you think, yeah, it's a good day. I've had a good day.
I think I always look at the wins. So I always kind of plan what do I want to achieve by the end of the day, and then the wins at the end of the day. But that whole kind of part there about, look, what have I acquired today? And like, straight away I'm thinking, okay, a skill. It could be that you've like for me, just this podcast now, myself, I've acquired a new way of thinking on journaling. It's something as simple as that, but it can have a massive effect. Something they're going to acquire. It could be that you've listened to a podcast, you've learned something. It could be that you've read something. It could be that you were in a situation that you were never in before, and you've got through it. That kind of thing, and then flipping it to the value, like what value have I given today? And I feel like we should always be asking ourselves that, like every day, like what value, not just what value have I give to the world, but what value have I give to the people around me? Like
exactly.
And that could be your close family members, it could be your friends, children, whatever it is. It could just be like, what value have I given today to the people I care about, or just the people who look to me for inspiration or look to me for guidance and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it's interesting again, because it comes back to, we everyone's in business to make money. All right. It's and people think, oh, I'm not in business to make money. Ultimately, we are. Yeah, we want to do lots of things, but ultimately, money is the medium of exchange. So, money has a value, and we give value. So it's that law of reciprocation. We give something, we get something back. We give value, we get money back. So, if you can say to yourself, "What value have I given today?" And I've given value to these people, you feel better in your head about accepting money from people, because some people don't, they undercharge, they don't value the products they give, the things they give. They think that being in business to make money oh no, that's the wrong thing. You're making money, maybe, is the wrong term. You're getting value from people, but the value is money. Like you said, I remember you said that quote, you said it, "Who's got my money today? Who's got the value that I want today? What value can I give to get that value back?" And in this term, value is money. And I've given a service or a product or whatever it is, and in return, I've got this value. So it just makes it more, I don't know what's the wrong word. It makes it reconciles in people's head that you're not just after their money, you're giving them value to get their money back.
I mean, that quote as well, I can't take credit for that quote, because there's a Grant Cardone, says that when he says, "Who's got my money?" But I know we were discussing it, and it's the way how you position that in your mind, So instead of it like, "Who can I sell to today?" It's like, right, who's going to buy from me today? Who's got my money? And when you look at it as who's got my money, you then go in, okay, who's going to want to give me their money?
Yeah.
Because of what I can give them.
Yeah.
So you start answering these questions, and all of a sudden it becomes, because how many people get caught up on that, asking for the money, asking for the business?
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like when you actually kind of flip it around and you're just like, look, you need to give me your money because I can give you this back. And this is a great point actually, mate, to kind of talk about the internet marketer's toolbox, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This is something that we spoke about for a long time, where we've just said, like, look, giving something back. I've always said, I want to give more back and stuff like that. But, we've always kind of positioned things in a way where it's affordable and we give good value, but it's always been a little jump, right? So what we've kind of done is just gone, look, what can we really do to help everyone, to help anyone, no matter where they are in the world, no matter what it is no matter what level they're at, what they're trying to do, how can we give something that is of value to them? And that's when, I've kind of revamped what was the Internet Marketer's Toolbox a few years ago, which was different courses and stuff like that to help people. And we've kind of put courses, we've put over 100 different resources with quick impact guides, Excel spreadsheets on different finances, business plan templates, checklist templates where you can create your own checklist to sell and everything like that. So many different courses. We're going to do live sessions as well. We've got masterclasses in there. You want to learn about sales, doubling your money with automation. We put all this stuff into our members area. And what we've said is just, look, it's $8.99, right? £8.99 a month. You can cancel anytime. You come into that, you get your access, you got a members area, you can access it through the app and everything like that. And then there's going to be the live sessions where, look, we just keep you on track. Everyone's had that kind of push where you're motivated, and then it just kind of dies down, because look, how many people are out there who they've got a membership site where they just have, a bunch of videos or something like that, right? And you can go in and you can just watch a bunch of videos and that's it. There's no extra kind of bit motivating you. Or, there's just a bunch of content, that never gets updated, is the same, what's going on. What we're saying here is, look, everything that is in there for you to access, over 100 different resources, courses, all this kind of stuff, checklists, templates. We're going to do live sessions where we do Q&As. We're going to have people that you can kind of communicate with, and different kind of experts and stuff like that. And what we're also going to do is keep it updated as well. We're going to keep updating with more things, all for $8.99 a month.
A month, yeah. Great value.
That's it. And like I say, cancel any time. So just that you come in and just go, look, you guys, you guys have taken a mic. There's only one sentence in there or something like that, but it's not that case. We've got all this stuff in there. We want you to keep it a member. We want to give, it's that thing that we want to give something back. What's affordable? It basically covers the cost to keep our membership platform going and to look at the email system and all this kind of stuff. Fees get taken out of that for payment transactions, all sorts, right? So it's not a great deal of money that is left, but at £8.99, it's less than a pizza, right? And the way I look at it is, this won't put pounds around your waist. It's going to put pounds in your pocket, right?
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to start using that.
Yeah, good. I like it.
It's all good
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
mate. We'll do that. What I've kind of done all this. That I ain't even told you where to go. We're going to put a link in the description, but you can also go to the onejmj.com. So that's THE, the number one, jmj.com. That takes you straight to the page where you can sign up, instant access. Just go straight into it.
Brilliant. Sounds really good.
Cool.
Sounds really good. Yeah, yeah.
But I think usually I ask you to kind of sum up this episode, right? And I'm gonna just like ask you to maybe just give some bullet points on people with journaling and stuff like that, right? But I think for me, summing it up, it's just like, look, what I've taken from this is that just give it a try.
Yeah.
Because like, whatever you do, whatever you write down, it is something that you're going to put down on paper, right? And once you start putting stuff down on paper, you start looking at things in a different way. So whether this is just to clear your mind, to give yourself more space to concentrate on the stuff that really needs to be done. And what's really great as well is if you kind of clear your mind where you put stuff down, right, onto paper, well, that paper's there. You can put it somewhere safe. You can come back to it if you need to remember it at any point, right? But now you've freed up some space in your mind to really focus on the stuff that you want to focus on. So I think that's something for me to really kind of take away, like just to do it and see what comes with it. And people may change the way they do it.
Oh yeah, this is as I've done. This is what I've done over the years. I've just changed the way that I do it, and we'll be putting this out as a proper format. But yeah, people can, of course, they can. That's the whole point, isn't it? Is that anything like this is a thinking tool that evolves, and no one can say that, oh, this is never going to change. It's never changed for me personally because I'm quite comfortable with it. But it could be that tomorrow I might add some. Yeah, I might think, oh, hang on, I could add this in. But everyone's going to have their own style. All I'm saying is this has been my taking away of what I've found good in all the different journal, and I've used a lot of different journal systems. Taking the good elements out of all the different journal systems that I've used to become what I think is the best method for me that helps me set myself up and get the best success out of every day.
Yeah, I love it. I think that let's wrap up that this episode there, and we'll say, look, next episode we're going to talk about making money.
Right? I reckon so. Yeah,
all the different ways in which you can make money online, and moving into 2023 as well. All the stuff that is available to you. We're not going to talk about go and invest in a load of cryptocurrency or join our £1,000 course. Like I say, $8.99 you can get for most other things that you need to do. Again, on that, the onejmj.com, the Internet Marketers Toolbox. What we're looking at there is giving you the knowledge and the skills, the clarity, confidence, and courage to go and do the things that you need to do, and giving you that whole kind of backup there with the right information, the right templates, and all that kind of stuff. And then next week, let's run through all the different ways in which you can really make money. And man, what an episode again! Episode 50. Just to end it with all those kind of nuggets throughout. It's great. And let's end things there and let's pick things up next week.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you very much. Brilliant.
See you then.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers, everyone.